Hello students, let me start our lesson number 3 of expense from our workbook. Now the first question is vocabulary. Now the word disadvantageable has a prefix as well as a suffix. Here you see this word disadvantageable means dis and able. This one is prefix and this one is suffix. Write other such 5 words having prefix as well as suffix. So you have to write 5 more words with prefix as well as suffix. So one example is given to you, dishonorable. So with the help of this example you make other 5 words. Now here in the listening skill, listen to the following poem twice. So I read it for you. You listen it carefully. Money is our madness, our vast collective madness. And of course, if the multitude is mad, the individual carries his own grain of insanity around him. Money has got us down. We grovel before it in strange terror. And no wonder, for money has a fearful, cruel power among men. But it is not money we are so terrified of. It is the collective money madness of mankind. For mankind says with one voice, how much is the worth? Has he no money? They let him eat direct and go cold. And if I have no money, they will give me a little bread, so I do not die. But they will make me eat dirt with it, and that fear can become a delirium. It is fear of my money-made fellow men. We must have some money to save us from eating dirt, and this is all wrong. Bread should be free, shelter should be free, fire should be free to all and anybody all over the world. We must regain sanity about money. Before we start killing one another about it, it's one thing or the other. Student, this poem is written by D.H. Lawrence, and in this poem the poet tells us that money is not that thing which we totally depend on it. We have to save the money for our future also, or our present time also. And here he tells that bread should be free and shelter and fire should be free to all and to anybody all over the world. So there is a peace in that world. Otherwise, we must regain sanity about money, and before we start killing one another about it, it's one thing or the other. Means for the sake of money, we are start killing one another. So to stop this, we have to save money and not get involved in money. Okay students, now here question A, now answer the following question. Fill in the blanks using the missing lines of the poem. So you have to fill the lines with the help of the poem. The first one is, money is our madness, our vast collective madness. What is the second line? Here, and of course if the multitude is mad. So you write here, and of course if the multitude is mad. If the multitude is mad. So like that you have to complete this poem. Now here in reading skill, there is one passage. So read it very carefully and find the answers here. So students, this is written by Robert Lynd. So you have to read this passage It is a nice point in ethics whether it is dishonest to rob one's own money's box. Obviously, each of us consists of two shelves, the shelf that wishes to save and the shelf that wishes to spend. And one of them differs as much from the others as a man does from his first cousin. Not only this, but each of them distrusts and is too hostile to the other. The self that saves feels himself thwarted at every turn by the self that spends, and the self that spends is irritated by the knowledge that the shelf that saves is constantly watching him and grudging him every penny in his fingers. When the self that spends sees and self that saves stealthily slipping a penny into the money box, he longs to cry, "Stop, thief, that belongs to me." And when the self that saves sees the self that spends forcing pennies out of the money box with a sizzle, he too feels like carrying out in his anguish, "Stop, thief, everything in that box belongs to me." Theirs is indeed a tragic position, each of them serving a life sentence in the other's hated company, and as unable to escape from his neighbors as one of the Sesame's twins. Luckily, at the early period in life, one of them usually gains predominance over the other and bullies him into silence. Life would be intolerable if our two shelves were forever dragging each other into court and laying complaint against each other before that grave magistrate. Conscience. I do not remember at what date the self that spends won a complete victory in my bosom over the shelf that saves, but I know that it was a Waterloo. So student, this is the passage about money. So you have to read it very carefully and find the answer of this passage. Thank you.